I feel like A&Rs have to be in the spotlight and have a little following and...
They don't.
You don't think so?
Job, fam. Huh?
You don't think so?
No, because half the ones that are culturally relevant, if it's going, or if it's going...
We're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
You ready?
On some death
Alright, cool. So if I'm being honest with you, a lot of A&Rs that... I don't rate a lot of A&Rs.
Yeah.
I rate the old school mans, but like A&Rs in general, like...
I think it's kind of going there though.
Unless you're chatting about Twin B or Twin Island, obviously there's more.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really know anyone else that I'd be like go to. I don't really know. Like Twin A, like I can't lie, especially in this past year, my man does his thing. And Twin B, just go take a look at them plaques. Unless you're chatting about that, fam, that family's incredible. I don't really know who else to...
No, just on what he's saying though, I think that it kind of is gonna go. It's slightly going in that direction because I know that there's like some companies and some record companies, whether they be big or independent or whatever, are recruiting like a DJ, like a personality, somebody like people that are kind of, and I don't even think there's anything wrong with that.
Not
because especially as a DJ, if you're a DJ, then you would like to believe that you have your ears to the street,
anywhere,
or wherever it is, or anywhere, and you're, you know what I mean, you're in tune with what's going on. So it's almost a smart move to do that. But the whole DJing game's changed now, so that's not necessarily the case. You don't have to have your ear to the thing like that. I can ring Poet right now and say, Poet, can you send me 50 of the top songs right now?
That's what niggas be doing. I know bare people that just be phoning people like, yo, who's hot? Like, I know people that phone other individuals and be like, who's... Like, bare people. Yeah. I used to do a thing on my... Sorry to cut you, Mitch. I used to do something on my phone every Sunday. I used to put up music from bare artists that I used to find who literally have no profile. Cause I know some people was ripping that. Cause I used to take a look at the views and be like, "Rah, my man watched it, and this person watched it." And, and these people have with no profile, hardly any profile.
Yeah,
I'll stop doing it anyway.
You're saying people aren't really A&Ring anymore?
No, niggas are just going to people that they think are culturally relevant, or going to people that they feel have a good eye for shit, and just taking it.
No, or they're just looking at stats. They're looking at the Shazams. They're looking at the street. So
you're looking at all Apple Music.
There's no such thing really as like as artist development anymore. Like
that is
companies are not necessarily saying, do you know what? Yeah, you're a diamond in the rough. You're not popping. You're not doing nothing, but you're sick. Well, and I think that you could be somebody.
We were talking about this earlier. We were talking about this earlier, but like with the music video side of things and talking about how, you know, like obviously when SB and Grime Daily came up. Obviously, they were the first, so they were putting on artists and pioneering people that are already big in our scene. Then obviously they got to a commercial level where they thought, we need to just keep championing these big artists. Do you know what I mean? Like Gigs, Tiny, whatever. Yeah. And then Link Up became the place that was kind of A&R in talent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They were busting all the people, the underdogs that no one really wanted to... Yeah. But now Link Up's kind of at that level. They still post all kinds of people.
Yeah.
But now Link Up's at that level. So I feel like what you're saying as well is like, people just want ready-made stars now. They're looking for people on Instagram and not trying to develop them. They want someone that's already popping, already big, and they're not actually trying to take talent. They're just, have you got these followers? Have you got this...
Because basically, well, A&Rs within the pop world can still do what they used to do 20, 30 years ago, for the simple fact that that way of manufacturing a star is probably the same way. I'm over that world, I don't know.
Oh, it's different.
But I know within this world, an A&R from a record label who ain't from culture, road, or have an understanding of how we talk and so on and so forth, couldn't tell us who's going to be hot.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're not from it. Like, this is...
No, but I mean, why do you think today? A&Rs today?
No, some A&Rs today couldn't tell you who's going to be hot because they don't... It's not that they don't have it. They're just not from it.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know certain people, yeah? Like, for example, a white person, Callum, for example, he could go have a West Indian and tell us it's the best in the world. Me and you could go eat it and be like, nah, cuz, that's not the thing. Because he's not from it, he's like, that's... From what I understand, that's hard. But because me and you eat this thing, we live this thing, we've really been out here going nanny's house.
I don't think it's a race thing, though.
It's not. I'm just giving you an example. I wasn't saying that. That's just an example of Jamaican food. It's nothing to do with him. Just like he doesn't eat. He's not Jamaican.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah,
you wouldn't know. Say the guy could be from somewhere in Brazil. He could be a black brother from Brazil. He's never really gonna know what Jamaican food tastes like. Callum was just in the room and he's just the target for today.
No, I thought the only reason why I said that is because I thought that you meant like.
And every week it's Callum, so it could have been anything. I'll say Callum. But you feel me?
I hear that still. But I do think as well, that there's like, it's mad. I don't think that there's it's a bad thing for someone to be a part of a culture, whether they be a DJ, be a name brand in whatever it is that they're doing, providing that they are in it and they understand it. Yeah. I think some of the best A&Rs would probably be people that do like live nights.
No, I agree, Chucky. That's what I was trying to say. I agree. I think the reason why a lot of A&Rs will fail in plucking talent from our world is because they're not from our world.
Yeah.
But if it was you, like Chucky, if you was an A&R, I would trust you.
Yeah.
Not that I'm anyone important, but I reckon a lot of people would trust you because they'd be like, you know what, Chucky, he's really been out here. He's really been on the circuit. Yeah. He knows music. Like, I could trust you. Yeah. But half of these, I don't really know half of these A&Rs, so that's a wrong thing to say. But some A&Rs I come across, because they're not from... If I say to them, do you remember Temple? They don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I think it's because of how much it's become a stats thing now.
Yeah.
Because you know what, yeah? If this is a stats game, then you don't particularly have to be a part of it.
Which it is, by the way.
Yeah. You don't have to be a part of something to know the stats. Yeah. You get me? You could just do that shit yourself. And a lot of it is that. Anytime I ever have conversations with people about music, yeah, especially within the music industry, all people are talking about is the numbers. When you talk to a music fan who's not a part of the music industry, they're not talking about numbers. They're just talking about whether it was good or not. They're talking about who produced it. They're talking about what so and so said in the bar. They're talking about the content. They're talking about the body of work. If you talk to somebody in the music industry about an album, one of the first things they're going to tell you is how much it's sold or how much it's streamed.
But let me ask you something. Where does numbers primarily come from?
People.
But how does it spread? How do more and more people see something? Would you say word of mouth still the most popular form of marketing?
Not necessarily.
You wouldn't say that. Would you say that word of mouth's the most popular?
If you don't mean by the literal sense, then yeah, 100%. So if you don't necessarily mean by me telling Chucky, as long as I can tell Chucky by him seeing it from 900 people liking a picture of an artist that I put up, then I would say that's word of mouth.
That's word of mouth in a sense.
Yeah, do you know where I'm coming from? In that sense.
But what about this then? See Austin, who works at Spotify.
Yeah.
He is very powerful at the moment, yeah. So if he wanted to, he can put your song in a Spotify playlist that has got millions of followers. That's not word of mouth. That's just a man who said, you know what, I like this. I'm just going to position it there.
How much you want?
Sometimes,
but how does it get to the point where he does that? How does it get in his? How does it get to him?
I believe that
he doesn't discover it all himself.
Do you know what? I believe that he's good at his job, so I believe that he does it in what you would say is the correct way, in a sense of looking at something. One, is it good? Two, would it fit this playlist? He would have to talk about all of these type of things. But you know what? If he wasn't good at his job, or someone flung him a little money, he could easily just put...
No, but Mitch is saying, how does he get that information?
How does he get that? Because everyone has to pass something on. He doesn't just see it the moment it comes up on
he gets it through word of mouth.
But not necessarily, though.
You know what?
You're right. He could just go on YouTube and he could just have the thing running.
No, but I'm not discrediting Austin, by the way.
No, neither am I.
He's sick. But what I'm saying to you is, I don't look at Austin now as someone that lives that lifestyle. So, half of the music that we got to promote is 18, 19. It's a young man's game, Like, it's like 19 to 24, 25. Now, unless you're in and around that or doing what a 19 to 24, 25-year-old is doing, the odds on you really accessing that music is slimmer than me, I reckon. If you're not going Visions, or if you're not going to the necessary places where man rave, or to the necessary houses where everyone's sitting down smoking weed and having them conversations on a regular basis, I don't know how you're going to obtain that music of it. Because it's word of mouth, because the DJs found out the same way. I'm sorry, I agree with Mitch. I'm with Mitch now.
Not necessarily. Because, all right, is this word of mouth? If I'm an artist manager and I got a relationship with Target and I give the song to Target spins the song, Austin hears the song, likes the song, then puts it into a Spotify playlist, is that word of mouth?
No.
That's a realistic thing.
But let me ask you something.
That's realistic.
But let me ask you something, yeah? If something is an exceptional piece of work, right? So let's say an artist puts out a song and a music video and it is truly exceptional, yeah? Are you not of the belief that it will reach loads of people?
No.
If it's truly exceptional. No. You don't think so?
If it's undeniable.
Why?
That doesn't make sense.
Why?
What?
If something's undeniable.
If it's truly exceptional...
no, wait, that's different.
If it's truly exceptional, why won't it reach people?
Wait, that's different. I think being exceptional...
Whether it actually will.
Does it do things that are truly exceptional reach people?
No.
Why?
I feel like I've heard songs that are truly exceptional that hasn't had the shine.
But not to your taste, like, because some things, obviously, music is taste. Period. Right? Everything's taste.
Yeah.
But some things transcend taste.
Yeah.
Some things
you're
you look
right.
back.
Michael Jackson transcends taste, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what genre of music you're into.
That might be different, but that's very, very exceptional. For me, I still hear incredible music that still doesn't get the light of day. Purely, it could be just down to the fact that like,
or
that
is it
that
down to
sound
them?
is not
Is it down
that
to them?
sound. Huh?
Is it down to them?
It could be down to
So
many
they could
things,
have the
bro.
exceptional music, maybe
It could be
even
down
the
to
exceptional
promotion.
video, but
It could
maybe
be down
they
to
don't
promotion.
have
It
the
could be down
look
to your
or the
manager.
charisma.
It could be
or-
down to your label. It could be down to loads of different things. There's so many different components.
So upsetting, innit?
Listen. I'm on the firm
Sometimes
belief
it's
is
not music.
it doesn't matter who you know or how much money you have or how much promotion, adverts. I don't think there's anything more powerful than word of mouth. That thing of spreading, saying, yo, this is the reason Get Out, everyone watched Get Out was because of word of mouth. It wasn't
Yeah.
because of trailers. I don't even think I saw the trailer, bro.
No, you're right.
I
Word
don't
of
even
mouth
think
is
I
still
saw
powerful.
billboards for Get Out.
Yeah.
Everyone kept saying to me,
Yeah.
Get Out is the film. Go and watch Get Out.
That's true.
So I
'Cause
wanna watch
that's
Get
the only
Out.
reason why I watched
That
film.
drew me out to go cinema.
Yeah.
Word of mouth's powerful. I'm
It
telling
is.
you.
I'm not taking. I'm not.
it's
Listen.
the
I'm not saying it like it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
no,
I
no,
just
of
don't
course
think
it
that.
exists, yeah.
I just don't think that is the sole thing anymore.
No, it's not the sole thing, but you know what I think it's also important? We're in an oversaturated market.
Yeah,
that
with
means
everything.
GRM's telling me what's good, Link Up's telling me what's good, SB's telling me what's good, Black Box is telling me what's good, this gal's telling me what's good. There's Bear Man telling me what's good, but if there's Mitch saying, Paul, have you heard IMDb leaned out? I'm probably going to be more inclined to go and listen to it off the back of the relationship I have with him. So
Yeah.
therefore, word of mouth, I still believe is probably the strongest tool because it's like you're only going to do something off the back of someone you like. If your brother told you to go and check something,
Yeah,
you'll
you're
check
gonna
it
check it.
because you rate him.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if I can't guarantee that if all of these publications told me to watch something, I'm going to watch
I
it.
think
But
this
I don't,
saturation
but
is the
also,
key
I don't
thing.
think that I don't think that within record labels, I could be wrong, but I don't think that within record labels that the word of mouth thing is strong enough anymore. I think it's stats for them.
I agree.
think that the word of mouth
In
thing
that
plays a
sense.
part.
Yeah.
I think it plays a part because you know what?
But that's
the
upsetting,
word of
though.
mouth thing could be another man from a record label saying to this don from a record label, you know what? Have you heard so and so? It's streamed X amount of times. No, he hasn't said, "Rah, like have you heard this song here? This song's sick."
No, but
bro."
Chucky, I agree with
think
you.
this person.
Chucky,
could
the
go.
reason why I fully agree with you is because of things like, for example, obviously we're signed, yeah? Well, it's not obvious, but we're signed. And sometimes the artists that we get chucked at from a corporate level are individuals that I know, but the reason why they're being chucked at me is because they've got loads of streams. And we're worlds
What,
apart.
to work with.
To work, like, for example, Hardy Caprio.
Okay.
Hardy Caprio does what he does.
Yeah.
Fucking
he
rate
got
the
so
boy for
called
doing.
unsigned that I proper like. by
Bro,
the way.
I rate him. The way he killed that girl on that radio show on a freestyle thing, which tried to get at him, was incredible, fam.
yeah, I
Like,
remember
man had Drizzy Drake.
Yeah.
Man- But I don't think myself
for
and
you.
Hardy. I don't think it's
Nah,
for me.
I hear that.
So when I know, that means from a corporate level, they looked at numbers, saw a black face, and said, "Poet in the Vib a lot of black. Let's see if they can connect." And
Yeah.
that is the ignorance which really upsets me from a corporate level. Because if you understand sonics, if you understand music, if you understand bars and so on and so forth, you'd have listened to that and said, he does what he does, but the audience he speaks to, boy, don't really chat to them people. So they're in the. It's almost like we're in the same planet, or we're in the same. We're worlds apart from we are. Despite the fact we may fit the same demographic that people just categorize it as urban, we're worlds apart in terms of who we're talking to.
Do you reckon there's still a science to it though? Because I think there is. I still
So-
think there's a science to the numbers thing.
A science in what sense? Of making a song go?
What you mean? Like
Yeah,
a,
like
No, there
because I
isn't.
don't think that you can just
feel like there's an
because
equation.
There's not.
just because like something has been like, let's say for example, yeah. All right, I'm just gonna make an example. Let's look at Stormzy, yeah. Blinded by Your Grace, right? Now, he may or may not be, but let's just say now he's looking for Christmas #1.
All right,
It's
can
been
I-
streamed a
can I
certain
pause
amount
you?
of
Can I
times,
pause
yeah.
you just so I can get a grasp of what you're saying?
Yeah.
So you started the conversation by saying there's an equation to numbers.
Yeah.
But you've given me an artist specifically.
Yeah,
so
because
an equation.
I'm talking about a target that we're trying to reach here. So I understand that the artist I'm talking about is a massive artist who has got good engagement. But remember, if you're looking for a Christmas #1, you still have to overhaul Mariah Carey.
No, I know
You
this,
still
but-
got to do all of these.
But when
other
you say an
fucking-
equation to numbers,
yeah,
I need to, because I'm confused. Because now I've got confused. Sorry to cut you, but I'm confused.
No,
Because
no.
when you said that initially, my initial thought was, no, that's not true. Because if I get 1 million views and you get 1 million views, there's not going to be, if we separate who me and you are, and we've got the 1 million views, there's not one equation we can create with both 1 million views, the same equation that will guarantee
That's true.
us to get the same results.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's why I disagree. But if
Yeah.
you bring the characters in it now,
Yeah.
that will play a different role. So what are
Okay.
you saying? Are you saying
yeah. With artists, you kind of sometimes depending on. I mean, I get it. Like
Do
sometimes
you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
It's not like a national
'Cause-
curriculum. When you get
yeah,
a
you're
million views,
talking.
this is
Now
what
we're
you do.
talking about we're talking about someone who's already popping as opposed
Do you
to
understand
someone
where
who
I'm
might
coming
not
from?
be. But this is still it still fits in within whether we're trying to work out whether there's a science to it or not, because there's still a target to be met regardless of how big or small the artist is. So even if you're a minuscule artist, there's a target that you will want to reach, whether it be
But it
a
can't be
certain amount.
science because science is general. So science with biology, what's in my body is the same as your body. But when it comes to music and it comes to artists, I'm saying to you, if I get 1 million views and Stormzy gets 1 million views, the two routes we've got to take to get to our next step, whatever that happens to be, is going to be completely different.
Yeah, but when I say the science to the numbers game, I'm saying like, are you able to take something from a small amount of streams per se and be able to create it into a bigger thing by I don't know what the means of it would put
It has more to do with characteristics than it has to do with numbers.
You think so?
100,000,000%. Because if you're taking a look
Don't you think it would sometimes have to just do with positioning as well though? I guess that's not
and the
numbers
positioning
either.
comes to the character that you're dealing with. So the positioning
Not
that you're going
necessarily.
to
It could just be a company.
No, but if it's because remember we started off the conversation by saying numbers, and now we're moving on to characters.
Okay, all right.
Numbers and characters are two different things.
I've got it now. I even just used it just before, yeah?
Go on.
So, remember we was talking about Austin.
Yeah.
He has the power to put a song in a certain playlist that has crazy amount of followers or whatever, yeah? So, even with that, grabbing something and then saying, all right, cool. The target is that we're trying to reach a particular thing, whether it be a chart position or whatnot, which means that we need to get more streams. So how can we figure out getting more streams? Because this is not now about you relying just on the people just gravitating to it by itself. This is about now putting it in places where it has bigger numbers or bigger following.
It's not going to work.
You don't think so?
It's not going to work forever because basically 1 million views.
But could it work though? Because I think
maybe
it could.
for a short period of time, but then it doesn't make it.
Am I making sense though?
It does, but it doesn't make it mass. Because see, mass 1 + 1 today equals 2. 1 million years from now, 1 + 1 will still equal 2. 1 million views 5 years ago was different to 1 million views today.
We're talking about today though.
But then,
I'm not talking about in the future, bro. I'm just talking about today.
Well, then again, but I'm saying to you,
I still think there's
that's what I'm saying to you. With a time, I don't know how long today counts for.
Yeah.
If you mean today, possibly. But if we're saying today and we're talking
That's
about
what we're talking about
now,
today. I'm not talking about fucking.
no, but you
next
can mean
month.
today's day and mean
I'm
a
talking
year,
about
within
if
a year
I'm
period.
talking about me. I'm an A&R.
So do you mean
and
within
I'm
a
just
year?
going by stats. So let's just say me.
Yeah.
I'm just going by stats. You're an artist. I'm looking at your stats right now and I'm thinking you're good, but your stats ain't that great.
Yeah.
What can I do now to be able to lift that up? Because if I lift the numbers up, then it's more revenue
It's
for
more
you.
positioning.
Wait, it's more revenue for you. It's
so
more
it's
revenue for the
positioning.
company, and also
But it's positioning then.
And also it helps with your perception in terms of where you.
Yeah, but it's
finish it.
positioning because if you get that massive, say you get Austin and say put us on a playlist with loads of high numbers and it's fucking dance and you're doing reggae and you go, it's not going to work. So it still has more to do with who you are rather than numbers.
Austin's not an A&R though.
I know he's not an A&R, but he gave the example of Austin putting it somewhere, and I'm trying to say with numbers.
He's one person.
I know, but I'm just trying to. What I'm trying to show is
using him as some
numbers are numbers. Numbers are only an indication to some extent of how many listens you've had. That doesn't tell you who
numbers
the listeners
is charts
from.
positions as well, and chart positions is perception, and perception
I know,
is
but
everything in the music industry.
Fair enough.
Because look at this.
Who's that guy?
I was having a conversation with someone the other day. Remember Devlin? Yeah. Devlin had a period where his album had come out, and I'm not sure that it charted that well. But over the course of the year, it actually sold more than what a lot of people. But see, like with some artists, the perception was they were doing sick because they came out, boom, number one. But that number one didn't particularly mean that it sold that much. It just meant that in that week, it sold a particular amount.
So then that backs up my argument about numbers not meaning anything. Numbers are just numbers. It's more to do with the character. Because I know for a fact there's enough educated people to know if Adele came out and it went number one, that number one is so different to 3 weeks later and, I don't know, someone else, me going number one. Yeah. They would know it must be a poor week
Chingy.
or Chingy going number one. It's just, it's less to do with numbers and it's more to do with who and so on and so forth.
Do you know why I don't think it fully does though? I think because it depends on objective. Because if the objective was to just get a number one and to have,
but the objective is down to the character,
but
the objective is down to the
go
character.
by perception, then
but
it
perception's
didn't work.
for the character though.
Huh?
None of these things correlate with numbers. That's what I said to you at the start. Is it going to be something that's going to be a basic equation that works 5 years from now? Because then it's mass.
No, I'm not talking about an equation. I'm talking about today. I'm talking about
All right,
the way.
so the word
I'm
is
talking about the
different
way the industry works today. Like not even at Devlin's time. I'm just talking.
I don't think there is, because a lot of A&Rs would be doing a lot better. I started off the conversation by saying I think there's 2 A&Rs that I think I know are killing it, and there might be more. I'm not sure. Maybe my awareness is poor. But
There's a few more. There's a few.
No, I'm sure there
No,
is.
we don't even need to start.
I don't want to start.
I'm only just
problems.
saying by a couple that I know off my head. We know both twins. But remember Glyn as well.
Oh, Glyn. Oh, yeah, but he's a legend.
forget Glyn.
Back in the
Benny?
day,
Huh?
Benny. Isn't
Benny's
Benny
not
A&R?
anymore.
No.
Was he never an A&R though?
He was an A&R.
Yeah,
but
so but he's
not an A&R. We're talking about. I'm talking
Oh,
about this
current
way,
active.
Like current, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Glyn's a legend. Sorry.
I was just talking about people that did things for the scene.
But Chucky, my point is this. Let me pause. You're struggling. Now, if there was a genuine equation on how to do it, why would anyone be struggling? Why would you be struggling to think of these names? We'd be reeling off names. I can name you projects today that have failed, that have had people on it that get mad
Maybe because
numbers.
they don't understand the science.
Bro,
I just thought, but if the science existed,
you hit the
then
nail on the
someone
head.
would know.
Well, listen, you hit the nail on the head to
Glyn might.
begin with.
And trying to tell me that, come on,
Only a couple people might have figured the thing out.
I just feel like it's less
Bro,
to do with that.
You hit the nail on the head to begin with. The art of A&Ring for me is extinct. It's dying. That's not to discredit A&Rs that are currently out there.
Yeah.
But you just said it yourself. Like, people looking for ready-made stars, bro. No one's developing no more. Like, it's not even just happening here. It's happening in America as well. Look at people like Cardi B, and these are people that have millions of followers before they even started rapping.
Themselves.
Yeah, like your personality is like number one now, and music comes second. Generally, that's not how it should be, but that's just the way it is. And A&R's just looking at it like, I could take someone that's popping. They could be a comedian like Michael Dapper. They could be someone that's not necessarily a musician. And if they have something or a way in which it can connect and make music, then we could do something there. Or they might even have a song out already that's just done well, like on a random one. And they're just taking it because we live in a single market anyway.
100%.
No one's signing album deals. Like, only the
Even when it comes to
deeper big artists are doing albums now. Like,
But and those are the ones who are already
Out
going
here.
through this. Yeah, they've gone
what,
through
10
the
years
sky.
deep?
Yeah,
But let me
gone
show you an
through the
example
sky.
of
There's no one that's just signing an album deal just like that right now.
Let me show you why it's less to do with numbers as well, and it's more to do with the person and the individual you're dealing with. Say you've got a grime playlist. Let's just say, for example, there's a grime playlist, and within this certain strategic way of putting music out, you have to put your song in this grime playlist. And Chris and Kem come and leave it, and it's considered grime to the person or the A&R dealing with it, then realistically, because there's a procedure in place, because this is a grime song, it should go there and it should do well. It has 140 BPM.
Not
apparently.
particularly,
No,
but I do get you.
but not particularly, not because of numbers. The numbers are high though. So why can't it go to that playlist and excel if it's a numbers game? But it's not
But
going
you know
to.
what it is? It probably does, but the reality is that just because the numbers are high
I don't
doesn't mean that people like it though. Some people you might have a whole bunch of people that listen to it once.
Genuinely, I don't think
I
you're
would
going to have...
rather, as an artist, I know this is a different conversation, but I'd rather have less streams and people listening to, like, paying attention to my music
I hear
and
that,
going
Chucky.
back to it than someone listening to it one person listening to it once, and that happens a million times.
I hear you saying that, but in the real, put it this way, in a realistic world, I'll be honest with you, my brother. When it comes to views on YouTube, if you got high views on YouTube, you're probably liked more than doing dislikes. Like that's.
Oh yeah.
So I'm saying to you, if you get correct numbers, that's
I
a
get
fact. Like I can just go to YouTube and just, that's a fact. So
But
if
some
it comes
people
to
do
things,
go on stuff just because they hate
I'm not
to
saying
look
people
at
don't, but
something.
majority. So my whole point is, if you could put Chris and Kem there, it won't save them. So I don't think it's a numbers thing. I don't. Because if life was a numbers thing, we can take it away from A&R and then bring it into presenting and so on and so forth. Then I shouldn't be making some of the money I make. There's people that should be making a lot more money than me, but they don't. They got higher numbers than me.
Yeah.
But if we do the maths and it's not gonna work. Like I will still show you my maths at the end of the year, and I got a happier face than you.
Bro.
And that's not me trying to discredit or no, I'm not trying to do that. But
No, but I hear you fully.
do you know what I'm coming
because
from? I know
the same thing with me. 100%.
Mitch, we shouldn't get some of the money that we make, but we do because I think it's more we focus on who we are and how we have to position ourselves than anything else.
But listen, our field is extremely different to the music field, bro.
No, 100%.
100%, because the music
it isn't
field
at the same time because
but I feel like right now we had this discussion the other day, but we can't really get into that. But I feel like musical integrity is going, bro.
That's why
the integrity in music is dying.
But Mitch, that means it's the same thing.
What do you mean?
Because it's not a pure art form anymore. If it was just music, then I could say it's worlds apart, bro.
But that
Cardi
might be because of the numbers, though, as well.
Cardi B is not big at the start because of music.
No,
she
of course
jumps
not.
into the industry of her personality, something that me and Mitch do.
Yeah.
So that means it can't be worlds apart because now I've got a single deal. You reckon I really got the single deal of my numbers based upon music? Hell no. So now, realistically, big man, if you drop a song tomorrow, you're in the music game.
The song was
Because
good,
of-
though.
What's that?
The song was good, though.
Well, us.
Yeah.
Fam, we're bad boy, but that's not a separate conversation. We're bad boy. But what I'm saying to you is, some people, Chris and Kem, you reckon they came off the back of hard-working music? No, personality. So
No, they came off the back of Love Island.
So,
Love Island.
so see our worlds. Unfortunately, they're not worlds apart. 20 years ago,
but to some people, I think that's
It's
a
not
numbers
worlds
thing.
apart, but it's still
To
different.
some people, I think that's a numbers thing, but it just what you said. You're right. It doesn't mean everything because it can fail.
No, what I
because
meant-
you got to
do
think.
you know what I
you
meant
got to
was-
think. Wait, can I just say
Go on,
this?
go
Yeah.
on.
Somebody could look at these two, right? And A&R could look at these two on Love Island. These managers chatting bare shit,
Come on.
spitting bars, doing all of that dumb shit, yeah, right? And then think to themselves, all right, cool. What's their Instagram following? All right, you got 1 million. My man's got 1 million. You lot are chatting bars. You lot are spitting bars. People seem to like it. So I'll tell you what we do. If we put you two together and we make you make a grime song and you both have 1 million followers each, we must be able to get at least. There must be a way that we can get 20% of that to buy into what you do.
do you know what you said now? You said something based upon someone's current relevancy. I can show you niggas, I can ask them to tweet something right now. I'll tweet the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll get more interaction. They've got much more followers than me. But by your numbers and we doing our maths, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
That's why I
but you know, okay, but going
But
back.
I
hold
can
on.
tweet
Hold
something
on,
more
hold
relevant
on,
than
Going
that.
back to the music and the thing though, being worlds apart, yeah, like obviously it's related to that. My whole thing is, yeah, in the music world,
Yeah.
there's no one that's on 15,000 followers that's making more bread than someone that's on 100k followers.
What, in
Off
music?
In
Off
music?
music.
I'm sorry, Mitch.
Nah, there is.
15,000.
I'm sorry, Mitch, there is.
No, not writing and stuff like that. I'm talking about putting out music. A musician signed, putting out singles.
Mitch, I'm telling you,
You
right
reckon?
now.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Like
know.
loads of
Give me
different
two
media-
examples.
loads of
I
different
can't. I don't want to
mediums.
hurt people.
No, it doesn't have to be people you know.
But
Oh,
but
they're the
it
only
is people
examples
I
you
know.
have.
Yeah, the people I know. I know niggas that I've got hundreds,
So that are
thousands.
charging more for shows than someone that's on 100k.
They're not even
And they're not
getting
even- you don't even
shows.
have- yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they're not relevant.
The
No
thing
one
is,
gives
you
a
don't even
shit.
have
So
to-
what? So how they making bread?
They're not. This is what's
Wait,
so
who are you talking
mad.
about? Are you talking about the people with loads of followers and the people with little
Loads of followers.
So how do people with little followers making bread?
Because they're relevant. That's
They
what I'm
might-
trying to say to
'cause they
Thingy
might-
Bob.
No, because
I know
they
some
might
guy-
have they might have a core fan base. That's
Yeah,
the
like,
difference.
I know some people have got 15,000 followers on Instagram. No, 20,000 followers. No, they had 30. Tell a lie. They had 35 the other day, and they've got millions of views, and they get bread. I know someone on Instagram right now, 200 and something thousand. That nigga don't get no shows, fam.
All right, so let's be
He
more
ain't making
specific.
no
I know.
bread.
Let's be more specific. Is someone in our scene that's on 15k followers making more money than someone that's on 100k followers?
But-
Yes.
In the grime scene.
In the grime scene,
In our scene, in the grime rap scene, that's not happening, bro.
Oh, in the grime rap scene. Again,
it's
there's
not happening.
Put it this way, there's people on
It's
lower
not.
followers. Hear me out,
It's
I
not happening.
can't say the names, but I'm telling you, there is niggas out here with followers, bro, making no bread. There was people
No, I
we-
know that.
There was
but-
people
but
we're
it
speaking
happens
about
a lot
today.
more in our scene than it does in that scene.
My whole thing
in
is
that
this.
scene, I'm telling you, you find this is my whole point.
Yeah.
You will find anomalies of people that do make more bread with
Yeah.
with lower following and whatever and lower numbers.
Yeah.
I feel like in our scene, it's a much more common occurrence than in that scene.
It's-
In
no,
the
wait,
music scene,
can I just
it's
interject?
numbers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's probably the law of averages is probably more on your side in what you're saying. Yeah, but the reality is there's a lot of artists out there that don't have a bigger following than the next person, but they make more money through loads of different ways. Still through streaming, but also some of the guys that or girls have a lower following, not next to nothing. I'm just talking about a lower following, still have a core fan base that they can go and tour to all over the place.
No, I hear that. I
So
hear that
and that's
fully.
money.
I
That's
hear that
money.
fully.
If
Do you know what it is?
if you can find yourself in a position, yeah, where you've got spots of fans all over the world, yeah, people might not be shouting and screaming about it, but if you can go around the world twice over and talk to these people, you're gonna make a lot more money than you would with the person who's made a one fucking hit and now is just trying to just live off this hit over and over and over
And
again.
he might have sold
that
more
big money
records.
comes, but it just dries up after a while.
And that's what I was trying to say to you about numbers, because the whole conversation started with you talking about numbers, and that's why I say to you, because of how because of where you can take the argument and the amount of things you can do to it, there is no equation, because 1 + 1 = 2, and there's no arguments for that. But for your situation that you've just spoke about now, there is so many arguments
Yeah,
for
I
that.
don't
And
feel like there is an equation.
there's not an equation. That's why I think
artist.
exactly. There's no because I'm telling you.
Every case is unique. Every
Unique.
artist is different.
Different.
It depends on the timing, the climate of music.
Everything.
There's so many different like factors involved. How could you possibly have
One
an
equation.
No, I know, Sunil, you took it way too literally.
I think
I
we
wasn't
did.
talking about like a one equation.
okay, so
I
your
was just
original
talking
statement was there's a science,
I was just
right?
talking about like them looking at numbers in any which way it may be and thinking, all right, cool. It doesn't have to be a 1+1 situation, but it could be in their mind thinking, if I put this here, wherever that may be, maybe it could help this person in terms of the numbers. Do you get me?
Do you know what?
Even with the
I do hear what you're
the
saying
example that I brought up with Austin, it's like you can pull it in a certain playlist. It doesn't mean that people are gonna like it, but the numbers are gonna lift up, and with the numbers lifting up, depending on what your objectives are. If your objectives are maybe just to, finish in the top 40 and not particularly have a career, then maybe, fling it in here, fling it in there, and then it might be in a few different places.
The argument
and
is
you
too
know
big,
what?
man.
Yeah, and you know what? It might land in there, but you might not be able to have a whole career off that, because just because you pull it in one particular place doesn't mean that a whole bunch of people are going to gravitate to it. Do you get me?
So
but I don't know.
So what, in
I'm
the singles
confused.
market, and this viral generation and all of this, like, are we gonna have long-lasting stars really anymore?
Yeah.
Well, again, it just
Are we?
depends
Because
on,
like you said, it's so
it
hard.
depends on objectives, especially with record labels, because if they want to do that, if they want to have long-lasting stars, then sometimes you have to go for the long haul. It's not a thing that happens overnight. But from what I see, and I could be wrong, but from what I see, it's more of a, let me just grab what's hot now, add a little flavour on that, make a little P, and then after that, you lot can
That's
go
what
about
I'm
your
saying.
business.
No,
Let's
why?
go in that
I don't think it's
direction.
that. I don't think it's that. Why can't you lot just understand what you lot have been saying for the whole time we've been sitting here? I asked you to name a bag of A&Rs, and you struggled. Why can't it be the reason why they're doing this is because they don't know how to have a long-term investment. They don't know how to get an artist from our scene and work with them for a long period of time. I just don't think they have the ability. They don't know. They just use anyone and they think to themselves, hopefully this works. And if it works, they'll work for them for a long time. But the moment it doesn't work, the man just bail out.
But just because I can't name a bunch of A&Rs doesn't mean that there's A&Rs out there that's not fucking killing it.
I didn't say that. I
So I
said
don't
that
know
for an
what
individual. No, my point was this: for a person like you, Chucky, you've been in this game for a very long period of time, and I asked you to name me a few, and you were struggling just from me and the way I view you.
No, I'm
and
struggling more so to just name the A&Rs that are killing it, but that's just because I.
Look,
just,
But that's my point, though.
As far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't be able to name A&Rs anyway, bruv. You A&Rs need to stay behind the scenes, come off Instagram, stop popping bottles in clubs.
A&Rs want blue ticks. I don't understand that shit. Do you know what I don't understand about the scene, yeah? Everyone wants to be famous. Everyone's got this obsession with having social status in some capacity, and I don't understand why that. Like, you see me? If I wanted to be an A&R, niggas wouldn't know my name, you know?
Bro, you got to be there behind the person pulling
What?
strings.
I'll be Voldemort in this bitch. You just hear my name and be like, "Raw, you mean he worked on your project?"
if
Like,
everyone at these labels is
if I
trying
was
to get
doing
the
an
limelight.
A&R thing, I wouldn't announce it.
What?
Bro,
I
it's not
wouldn't
just
announce
A&Rs. Fam, it's head of marketing,
know.
head of brand partnership,
Receptionist.
Product manager,
Reception-
product manager,
security guard at Universal,
street
security
team up.
guard everywhere.
all of that.
Street
That
team,
cleaner
everything.
that changes the bins in the office. Everyone in that office,
The
in all of those-
driver.
Bro, all these record label people want to be stars now.
All these
bro.
niggas want to be liked, fam. Because
I
you can
think-
do like
do you
on
know what,
Twitter
though?
now.
I think that like for me, from what I see, it's like a lot of people that worked at record labels wanted to work at labels to be a part of something, and live a certain type of lifestyle. But I just think it's changed now, and like people are just doing it more so just for the whole thing of it looks good in the bio.
Literally.
Do you know
It
the
looks
only
good
man
on the
behind the
bio.
scenes that can move like this and I just say he's the best?
And to go to a quick after party,
Yeah,
go
the
see
on-
some artists.
But the only man that can do that is Posty, because that nigga real about it. He's so honest and upfront about why he's doing this thing when it comes to promoting Posty. He's the only man that's allowed.
he's
Everyone
a
else,
business owner.
he's a
as
business
well.
owner, but it's like
But
he's
not
behind the
just that,
scenes.
though. No, but
he's
he's
just,
not though, because he does not for the radio.
Oh, he
Yeah,
doesn't
he's a
count now.
personality now.
He's a personality.
No, but before not for the radio, he was out here.
before, yeah.
He was still
But
out
now
here.
he's,
He's-
now
yeah,
he's
he's been
actually
out
out there.
I mean, he was really out here.
He's
So,
a businessman as well, though. Like,
Business.
Oh, yeah, proper.
first and foremost.
come on.